welcome to Green Gander 75. I'm Buddy Phillips. Well, I just wanted to stop and give you a quick shop update. It's been a very busy couple weeks here, both for work and also here in the shop. Let me give you a couple updates on what's been going on. First off was our Kodiak repair. Basically that's come to a complete stop. Unfortunately, we found out the gasket that we were attempting to repair was considerably worse than we expected. So it's actually completely unrepairable at this point. So we've stopped that project, and we've got back in touch with Dutchman, and we're working on trying to find a solution to basically go ahead and replace that canopy completely. If I'm able to come up with that, well, we'll go ahead and of course share that with y'all. The lathe, the South Bend lathe, is going along very well. I have not shot very much video with that at all. What I've been working on has been very greasy, very nasty, just really time consuming. Not something that I really wanted to work on and try to shoot video at the same time. I just don't want to damage my cameras, and that and stopping to adjust cameras and everything in the middle of that, when your hands are just completely covered in grease and grime and everything, it just wasn't practical. But what I am working on doing is when I go to put the parts back together, they're nice and clean, they're freshly painted. So I would like to really get y'all involved with the process of putting it back together. At this point, I have I basically completed the gear train. It's ready to go back together. And when I go to continue with part 2 of the series, I'll point out some of the things that I found with that. I found there's quite a bit of wear damage on a few of the shafts and the bearing surface. Not much I can do about the bearing surface, but it looks like some of my first projects with lathe will actually be repairing and replacing the shafts that have been damaged. Best guess right now is that they were damaged pretty much as a result of lack of oil, and possibly even some debris that went down into and through the oil port into the onto the shaft surface and the bearing. Where there should have been felt, there was no felt, so you basically had an open path for anything to fall down inside there and wear a groove. Let me just show you one example of that real quick. See if I got that. Okay, this is one of the shafts. I'm going to bring this up close to the camera. And right along in here, I know it's in a bit of a shadow right there, but you see there's some wear. And now this isn't one of the worst. One of the worst I've got right now inside the house. What I'm working on is going ahead and making drawings and getting my dimensions, and also when I go to rebuild these, I'm going to need the lathe to build the part, so I got to have the part on the lathe. So I can't just remove it and take measurements. So I'm going ahead and making my drawings. So when I get to that point, got to get a little experience, working on it first. But when I get to that point to make the part, I will go ahead and I'll have those drawings to follow. So let me put this back over there on the cloth. Keep it protected. Now, if you had seen that part when it first came off the lathe, it was really dirty. But it was also very rusty, and as you saw, it shined up great. And most everything that I'm finding on the lathe is really shining up nice. It looks clean. I think everything's going to go back together real nice. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing how it's going to look. Oh, paint color. Let me go grab a piece and I'm going to show you what we decided to do with paint. Alright, so here is another part. Sorry about kicking the camera. Here is another part that really cleaned up nice on the back gear assembly. So, you'll notice this is not South Bend gray. And the reason for that is I do live in north central Florida. So our weather is typically very, very humid most of the year. And what I've found with the normal enamel paints and all is that after a while the humidity gets to it and it just deteriorates. So to avoid that, and I've had good results with this, I am using Rust-Oleum hammered paint. I have found with some of the restoration work I've done in the past that that paint just lasts forever. I've got a drill press that we used. It wasn't actually put back into service. It was used as a sign here at work, and we painted it with the Rust-Oleum hammered paint. It's been there about 10 years now. There is no rust on it at all. It sits out in the weather all the time. It's been out in the weather for the last 10 years. Doesn't need to be painted. No rust at all. It is just, that paint just is awesome. So, some people may not like that, you know. Restoration project, you need to go back with what the original paint was. You know, and I agree. If I was doing a full restoration, absolutely. You definitely want to go back with the original paint. Sorry about kicking the camera again. But, this isn't really a restoration into that sense. This is bringing the machine back into a functional state where I can use it personally, and I want it to look good, and I want it to look good for a long time, and it has to be able to survive through Florida weather. And if anybody ever has lived in Florida or even visited Florida, you know that our everything is just damp almost all year round. Except for a short period during the winter time when everything dries out. So, you know, we just have to. I have to think about that and be ready for that. If you look around my garage, which is my shop basically, it has no AC. It was built in the early 1950s. All it's just got is wood lap siding and old termite infested, well, not infested anymore, we got rid of the termites, but just old termite boards and a nasty old concrete floor, and of course no ceiling. There's nothing above me but rafters and a roof. No AC, no heat, so anything I've got to do, I've got to plan for the elements. So that's why I went with that, and went with green naturally. My channel name is Green Gander, so you could probably guess from that my favorite color is probably green. So there's my it's going to be my green lathe. Alright, so I'm really excited about getting the parts back together that have been painted and cleaned. I tell you what, compared to what this looked like before, this is amazing. The handle here was just completely rusted, but it just shined up really nice, a really nice polish on it. So I can't wait to see this all put back together. Of course, that's only the beginning of a very, very long process. work on this machine. At this point, seeing what I have to do to make this work, I'm probably looking at, I was hoping to get it done around the end of the summer, but at this point it's probably going to be more like towards winter time. So we're looking at almost a year for repairing and restoring this lathe. But I think it's going to be really worth it. I'm very pleased. A little disappointed about the wear that I found, but you know, it's not something that I think is going to really ultimately affect the machine. I'd like to replace the parts that have been worn, but looking at it, most of the wear is down, you know, like an undercut into the metal. I'm not sure that's the right way to say it as an undercut, but it's down into the metal instead of standing up. So I know it's not going to wear any more into the bearing surface. So the way I look at it right now is just a place for oil to ride in. So we're going to keep this stuff really oiled, and we're just going to hope for the best on it. And I think it'll work out pretty good. So yeah, I mean, but definitely something that I'm going to want to work on repairing. If anything, just to work on my skill is using a lathe, because I am a beginner. Of course, this is my hobby. It's not something I don't do this as work. I work with electricity and electronics, and so this is nothing to do with my work. It's just a hobby. It's something I've been looking forward to doing for years, and you know, and I had let that go for you know, I've got to let that go for several years before I finally said, you know what, I've got to buckle down. I've got to get this lathe. And I got started watching other YouTube creators, and you know, they inspired me to go ahead and work towards my dream of being a little home shop machinist. So of course I've got a long ways to go, but I definitely enjoy watching their videos and learning from them. Just really awesome. So yeah, wow, I guess that is it. I'm hoping to do a little more work this weekend. I've got a few personal engagements that I've got to take care of, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done, but I do plan to start shooting more video now that I'm getting these parts cleaned up, so you can be involved in it, because I know there are some people out there who are interested in this kind of thing. Maybe they have a lathe of their own. Maybe they're just curious to see what it's like to put it back together. And quite frankly, I'm curious to see what it's like to put it back together. So anyways, okay. Well, that's enough of me rambling on. I would like to thank you for watching. We're up to about 10 subscribers at this time, and that is awesome. I was not expecting that, and so let's keep it going. Go ahead and click subscribe. I've got a few comments back, and that's really great. I'm really enjoying that, hearing back from folks, and hearing the encouragement of what I'm doing and everything. So if you like what you see, go ahead and click subscribe. Say hi. I'll try to respond back to you every chance I get. So I guess that's it. So y'all have a safe evening, and we'll see you next time.